Hi everybody, what's going on? I'm staring right at that camera viciously. So, my name is Joe. I've done this introduction before, but I'm doing it again for a new audience. For those consumers, what a gross word to use, of the Fancy Boy Club content. I am here to play some video games. I like video games a lot. I like comedy. I like sleep and food. It all says it in my bio thing. It can't possibly be a lie. I enjoy beer. Right now I'm drinking New Glarus Spotted Cow, which actually after trying all the other New Glarus beers, I'm realizing might be one of my lesser favorites of their other flavors. It's just the best known. But anyway, I'm here to talk about video games specifically. That's when you'll see me in video form. I also have a podcast called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Conversation. That's where me and my roommate Gladys and possibly some other people in the future talk about movies as like a jumping off point as to conversation, wherever it may go. It's not really supposed to be like a movie review show. We're not like critiquing shit. I have no business critiquing anything besides maybe video games. I've been playing those a lot longer than I've been watching movies, so maybe someday that might happen. But anyway, what I plan to do in video game form is, I don't know, I got a lot of games. I don't have a chance to play them, ever. And I don't really have much of an excuse to play them most of the time. So I want to use this as a reason to sit down with a game that I haven't gotten a chance to play for whatever reason, or maybe it's a game that I've played a lot and I want to show to the world that maybe not people are familiar with, or just a fuck around game that might be, in the news. That sounds awful as well. At the time, though, like a game that just got released or a game that someone's talking about a bunch. I have another YouTube channel called BloodNGutsMurfy, which this video will also live, where I have literally I think hundreds of these types of videos where I just decide to bust out a game, play it for anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, and just kind of talk about it, talk about whatever as I'm playing it, and then we wrap it up, and then we call it a day, and we ship it out the fucking door, and I never watch it ever again. But it's fun, and it's a good excuse to play these games. So, anyway, today I want to play a game called Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. It is a game that I've made a few different videos about in the past. It is quite possibly one of my favorite video games ever. For the NES, I think it might be my favorite game on the NES. It might be, though, like I said, up there with just all-time favorite games. Does that mean it's a good game? Probably not. I can't really judge because I'm not sure if I'm caught up in nostalgia that is making me like this game so much, or if it really is a good game. It's easy. That's the thing that I like. I like easy games. Games that make me feel like I'm good at them, regardless of skill level or whatever. I've also been playing it for a long time, so I'm probably okay with, at it for that reason. I've probably played through this game, I don't know, 50 times in my life, maybe. I mean, back in the day, I used to play it a lot when I had it only on NES. But since then, I still bust it out every once in a while. I got the cartridge for it back here somewhere. Today, we'll be playing it on the NES Classic. It's a very easily hackable. I don't like saying that. It's not hack. But it's very easy to add more games to this console. And it's very easy to stream them because it's HDMI. So I could bust out the old school Nintendo and play the cartridge, but that would require a lot more work. You will notice along the way, though, that there are some technical hiccups with this game being ran on here. It's a real bummer because most games I think I added 60 or 70 more games to my NES Classic, and they all run just fine except for Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. It's missing bits of the UI here and there, and that's a real bummer. I also just found out recently that this game came out for TurboGrafx 16, I think, or something like that, which blew my mind. It's almost a completely different game. There are things that are similar, but the NES version I can honestly say I think it's the definitive version. It might just be because it's the one I'm most familiar with, but I don't think that's actually the case. I think it really is just the better version. I'm not familiar with the TurboGrafx. It's one of those consoles that I never got an opportunity to mess with. There are very few consoles, like the 3DO, TurboGrafx, Jaguar. Those are some things that I never owned. But otherwise, I always had the NES, SNES, the Genesis, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4, oh, whatever. I'm a fucking nerd, okay? I like video games. So that's why we're here. It's an excuse for me to play those video games, and that's what we're going to do right now. So in a second here, you're going to see the screen change a bunch, and when it does, I'll be playing Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. Alright everybody, so here we go. This is, my NES Classic, real quick. So, yeah, I added a ton of games, just a whole bunch of stuff. It puts them into folders, even. Like, they give you a lot of options, so, if you want them in folders, if you want to have one big giant list, which I did, and I broke the damn machine, it stopped working after I said don't put them in folders, so they gotta be in folders. So yeah, I got all these Mega Man games. This is all my M's, basically. M's and I's, whatever the fuck is in between there. But we're gonna ignore all that. We're gonna play Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. Although, the program I used to add these is really good. It automatically got the video game art off the internet for me. I didn't have to do shit. I got to choose, kind of, like, make sure, like, yep, that's the one, but that was about it. So anyway, here we are, playing Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu for the 8 billionth time in my life. Maybe it's the first time you've seen it. I apologize for the way the screen is set up, except not really. So I could have it be your traditional streamer style, me up in the corner thing, but it's not that way. Because sometimes I like to address the camera, and sometimes I like to, I don't know, who cares? BloodNGutsMurfy, that's my YouTube channel that is in addition to what we got going on here today. Check that out if you want more shit like this. Shut up. We're going to play Jackie Chan. So, here we go. It's a, really good for an NES game. I feel like the animation's really good. Like, he looks angry when he walks. He has facial expressions. He blinks. These are all things that a normal NES game doesn't really do. So that's pretty cool and impressive. I used to be a lot better at this game than I am now. I'm just going to make that excuse right here in the beginning, nice and early. But yeah, I really like the big sprites in this game. They're very nice. I don't... Oh, man. The story of how I first was introduced to this game... Okay, so this is kind of weird. This game has this thing where you can hop around kind of like a hidden block in like Mario, and this bell appears. And then that lets you hang out with this Mr. Miyagi, you motherfucker, and you go on the cloud, and there's these bonus games, which this one is jumping on clouds. There are other ones where you kick fish and shit like that. But it basically earns you extra lives and bullshit like that. Sorry, I'm going to be quiet for a second here because this involves concentration. It's very important, except not really. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, the story as to how I got introduced to this game is interesting and inaccurate because I don't actually remember. I know how I think it happened, and that was... I was a small child. I was at a wedding reception, maybe? And we were eating dinner, and for some reason, my uncle, who got me into video games, I used to hang out with him all the time, and we would play games together. He lived with my grandparents, and my grandparents watched me a lot, and I would just go hang out in his room. We'd play video games together. But anyway, my uncle, that one, was at the wedding as well, and out of nowhere, he pulled the cartridge to this game, like, out of a pocket or something, to be like, hey, look at what game I just got, maybe. And I, as a small child, was like, oh, cool, thank you so much for bringing that game for me. I'll quite enjoy owning that and playing it. And my uncle was like, not for you, buddy. It is for me. And I was like, oh, that's a real bummer. And then I think he was just like, never mind, you can have it. And then I had it, and I still have it. That can't possibly be the true origin story of how I got this game. But I don't know what the real one is, and that's the only one I have a memory of. Was it a dream? Maybe. Was it some amalgamation of like a bunch of events of my life that then shoved this game into it somehow? Also maybe. But it's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I think that's how I got this game. So, there's another one of the spells. This game, like I said earlier, pretty easy, but I like that. I like a game that gives me my own opportunity to find my own challenge. You know, it's like, oh, maybe you don't want to struggle to beat the game. Maybe you want to be able to beat it easily, and then you can go back and you can make your own fun things. Like, I used to speedrun as a kid Mario 2, and I got really, really good at it. And I knew where all the, secret warp zones were. I knew the right ones to take and, where to carry the potions to in certain levels. Because sometimes you pick up those potions, you just throw them. And that's not the right thing to do. That is, the opposite of what you want to do. You want to carry that shit through the level. Throw it, get the right magic door. It takes you the fuck out of there. Or you go down one of those little pots and you end up in a new level. I was good at that shit. And it was because Mario 2... not that hard, especially when you're warping and stuff. But then you get to make your own fun, and you go back, and you see how quickly you can beat the game, and how many little things you can learn about it and stuff. And when I think back on it, it makes me realize just how more like elastic kids' brains are, and how fucking smart kids are. Because I look back, and I'm just like, I couldn't do any of that shit now. I wouldn't be able to figure any of that stuff out. I wouldn't be able to have the attention span to even try to do that stuff. I don't know. It's just really... I impress myself as a child, as an adult now. What am I doing? See? I know how to get through this level without problems, and I did that thing for some reason. You're supposed to duck, let this thing push you, and you just kick the bats in the face. So, about this game. Let's get on track here. You have, your health down there in the bottom. You also get these special moves out of the frogs, along with those bowls, which give me health. But these special moves are activated by pressing up and B at the same time. And right now, I have these flips that I can do, which really aren't all that useful. It damages people, or it just gets you right through them, I guess. I meant to kill that guy, but I didn't. Yeah, screwed that up. I lost my frog. Wow, I got some issues today. But, so yeah, you do that, and I really needed that frog because I don't want to fight this boss with these flips, but whatever. You'll see just how easy this game is. And then there are, to the right there, though, there's those little circular things, and those are these, like, fireballs that I can throw that I never, ever use. I watched speedrun in this game, and, man, it was perfect. It was literally perfect. You can only go a certain speed in this game. You can just continually run forward. It's kind of, like a set pace. And then when I watched the speedrun, he just never stopped running forward. He never stopped running forward. You can't improve upon it. It's crazy. But he got all the right power-ups in all the right orders, and really used these things a lot. So you got these little charge shots. Okay, so here's where the UI explodes. Quite obviously, you can see. These fucking weirdos. I wonder how many, sprites from this game are from other games. I wonder if this game was perhaps meant to be something else, and then they just plugged Jackie Chan in. Kind of a Mario 2 situation with Doki Doki Panic, where they're like, hey, Mario 2 for real is way too hard for these dumb American guys. Let's go ahead and just use all these Mario characters in this other game we have, and those dumb Americans will eat it up. And sure enough, I did. But also, Mario 2, the real one, kind of sucks. It's kind of not a fun game. It is too hard, but I am an American, and I was saved from that. So, okay. Here's the problem with the broken UI. It's everything at the lower part of the screen. So there is currently lava rising to murder me, and I can't see it. I can't see how much health I have. So you just got to do your best to stay at the top of the screen here. And that's what we're going to do. I kind of wanted to look up some like interesting information about this game, which for how long I've enjoyed it and how many of these videos I've done about it, I should know anything about it. But no, as I said in the introduction, I only just recently learned that this also is on another console altogether and has a completely different version that I've never even seen. I did download it. I downloaded the ROM, and I got an emulator for the TurboGrafx specifically just to check this game out. Like I said, it's bad. It's just not good. I had a bad experience with it. The emulator was kind of bad. The ROM was kind of bad. But also, it just was a totally different game. It had some of the same elements. Oh, I just got an extra life. But, it was like one continuous thing. I don't think it had the map that I was using earlier, you know, where it shows what level I'm traveling into. So that's kind of a weird omission. I hate when I don't make it. Okay, so this little move right here reminds me of when I was a kid. I used to use... I was what, you know, the concerned parents... I was a point prover. So, you know, parents would be like, oh, the kids can't watch Ninja Turtles, it makes them too violent. Or they can't watch Power Rangers, they're going to be violent. I was that guy. I actually did become... I wasn't violent, but I wanted to become like a ninja from watching the Ninja Turtles. I wanted to become a ninja from watching Power Rangers and playing this. And that move that I did for like a split second back there, it is Jackie Chan doing this weird kind of a handstand thing and kicking straight upward. I remember as a kid, like, figuring out how to do that, or trying to do that, whatever. I was running around the neighborhood being like, check me out, I'm a ninja, and I would like kick upward while doing like a handstand, as if that's a practical way to injure a person you're trying to fight. But I could do it. Anybody could do it, but I thought I was cool about it. I also wanted to be a ninja, like I was talking about, as a kid, and I took Taekwondo, and then while I was in Taekwondo, I was like, no one's teaching me how to do the cool shit. Like, I want to learn how to do, like, flips. I want to be jumping off of things and flipping around and kicking dudes in the face and doing cool shit like that. Give me the nunchucks and all that. Never happened. So my family was like, oh, you want to be doing flips and stuff? You mean tumbling. So then I went into tumbling as a kid because that was how you get ninja trained. And I stayed in tumbling for a little while. Got myself a cool pair of... what was then, I don't know what you'd call it, but nowadays would be considered yoga pants. What can I think of what they're actually called? I guess yoga pants, sure. So I got some of those, and I went to learn how to become a ninja in tumbling. And like I said, that went on for a little while, but also I remember when I was in Taekwondo, I went to a Christian Taekwondo place, which I don't even know what was Christian about it, besides the fact that it was like in a church basement. But I think it was because like my family was like semi-religious then, and I don't say semi, I mean very. And for some reason they thought that I would be like brainwashed into becoming some sort of like, I don't know, assassin or something, I guess. Teaching me all the religions that go along with Taekwondo. I don't know. Whatever. It's not worth trying to figure out. But it's what happened. And every time, I still live near that church where I took Taekwondo, and I drive by. And I'm like, yeah, that's the place. That sure is where I took Taekwondo in the basement. They sold boards that you could then take home and karate chop, which is fucking hilarious. Buy pieces of wood to then go home and chop in half all on your own. I mean, I could... Man, life is weird. There's a bell around here somewhere that those snail guys, they indicate where the bells are. Like whenever you see them, you'll kind of know that there's a bell nearby. And there was a few of them in a row there, and I never bother checking which one of them leads me to the bell. It is, you know, you get the different bonus levels, and it is one that I don't get to do very often in this game. There was a guy like chewing marbles floating back and forth at the top of the screen, and he's spitting them down at you, and you have to try to kick them out of the way before they break the floor you're standing on. And you get points for every bit of floor that you don't allow to be broken. Here it is. I think there might be 2 in this level. Here it is. Alright. See, I'm not a fucking liar, okay? I always look at the monitor when I'm trying to talk to the camera. I'm not a liar. Oh, God. This one, so I've gotten perfects on the last 2 bonus levels. I don't think I've ever gotten perfect on this one. I'm not sure if it's possible. God damn it. I like how the marble guy's like, you know what, you got enough to deal with. I'm not going to fuck with you anymore. I like the bubbles in the background that, you know, are bubbly. Man, I need some health. Hook it up. Yay. And an extra life. Do you guys ever call them extra guys? Yeah, me too. I've been up for too long. I'm only on like my 3rd beer, so I'm not drunk, guys. I am just tired and stupid. So that's what you're gonna have to learn to deal with, or choose to not deal with, when consuming the videos and podcasts that I put out into the world. So, I guess as long as we're still in this level... Actually, no, I think we're about at the end. Oh, there's my thing! Check it out. I probably... whatever. This level here, or this boss, this is where I use the fireballs. I also used to do that as a kid, like, and then like shoot it out. Oh shit. So, after watching that speedrun in this game, I've played this game exactly the same for the entirety of my life. After watching this... Whoa, I don't think I've ever had a frog cat before. Oh god. Oh no. So yeah, not having the UI at the bottom is really kind of a problem. So yeah, the speedrun really showed me that there were other ways to play through this game, and I was very intrigued by that, actually, like, because I've only played it this one way. It's like I played through this game once, and I'm like, well, that's it. That's how we do it. From now on, we use, you know, this method of hurting these people at this point in the game, and that's it. I was always confused by these guys. So those horns on their head, or are they just holding like a cane thing that makes it look like they have horns on their head? Is it both? Is it like those glasses that like rich ladies use, like at the theater and stuff? Like, the theater. Oh, my Satan horns. So if you listen carefully to the soundtrack, I've been saying soundtracked throughout my entire life, and I hate it. I can't stop doing it. It's like saying supposedly and shit like that. I gotta stop. Excuse me, tiger. And, I lost track of what I was saying. It's hard to talk and play games at the same time. Oh man, I didn't even realize I had this cool kicking attack. See that? I lost a thought in the middle of explaining how I lost a thought. No! First death. Back at the beginning, I can't even tell. But I was planning on just beating this game. I don't know. If I don't suck a lot, it doesn't take very long at all. But I'm not feeling super confident in my patience to make it all the way through this game, and also my ability to just not play like garbage. I'm not sure if I've ever, like, I actually have. I did, I think, on a live stream. I straight up game overed out of this game. Like, no more continues, no more nothing. And that was a low moment in my life. This part here will have a tendency to get me to throw in the towel. So you're bouncing, and it's really hard. You can't hold down the jump button to get the extra amount of air. You have to hit it right when he hits the cloud. It becomes a real problem later on, and you'll see, because it's bound to happen several times. And this part here, I believe, if you fall off of these clouds, you start at the beginning of the level. Not like where I just was, the beginning of the cloud part of this level. Which, at a certain point, is far enough back to just want to be like, nah, I'm done. You'll learn that about me, too. I don't redo things in video games. I have enough games. I have hundreds, if not, you know, not thousands, but thousand hundreds. To just be like, nah, I'm done. I'm not going to play this game anymore. And I just go play something else. I thought those moved. I didn't realize they just fell like that. So yeah, you hit off the giant's toe, and here we are at the beginning of the level. Maybe not. Nope. Maybe yes. The music's pretty okay for this game. It's not like some bangers, you know. I'm not going to be driving around town listening to the soundtrack, which I do. I do listen to video game soundtracks in life, just living life. But this one, I don't think I would. It brings back fond memories, for sure, you know, like, but it's just, and it's good music, but it's not listened to in your free time, maybe. Okay, so also I was going to say earlier, if you are somebody who is interested in like NES ROMs, and you know, you like to download those, do the emulator bullshit, get an NES Classic. Seriously, it is the best emulator that you'll ever use, at least for me. I mean, yeah, you got the original controllers, that's nice, although they're wired. But you just, besides, I guess you'll see here a few different hiccups. Besides the UI, Jesus Christ, the UI at the bottom, but also the flashing kind of goes crazy for some reason. But anyway, the no latency as far as the controls go. My issue for a lot of different emulators I've used has just been input lag, like to the fucking max. No matter what settings I change on my emulators, no matter, you know, however the fuck I'm running the ROM, they just feel like garbage to play. And this is like one-to-one. The cartridge might as well be in the fucking... And yes, it's just, you get some weird graphic stuff there like that. But this game in particular is like, you know, one of the worst. And certainly the games that come with the NES Classic don't have that problem. But it's got some good games, but not all of them. I just ordered a Genesis Classic. That comes out next month, September something. I'm not a Sega guy, really, but I very much am a mini console guy, as you can see by my coffee table here. I got a SNES Mini, which I've hacked as well to put more games on. I got a PlayStation 1 Mini. I have not bothered putting more games in on that. I only bought it because it was on sale for $20 because it did bad. It came out for $100, I think. Nobody bought it, and they sliced that price right on down to $20 fucking. It has terrible versions of the games that are on it. They are a lot of them on the PAL version, which means they don't even run at the right frame rate. The actual games they put on it to begin with aren't really the games you would want. Also, the PlayStation 1, I'm sorry, is a bad console. What is going on over there? Yeah, it looks like there's something to be desired as far as frame rate goes. I'd be very sad if this whole video's been looking bad like that. Anyway, something to be desired. PlayStation 1 was trying to do too much. Like, it did two-dimensional stuff super good, like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Fuck yeah. Every game for PlayStation 1 should have been like that. Give me a 2D game that's cartoony, that is not trying to push some sort of graphical limits that it has no fucking business trying to push. Tomb Raider. Garbage. Just unplayable. Blurry fucking polygonal mess. Like, they didn't know how to do controls. Once they figured out, the pre-rendered backgrounds and shit with, Resident Evil and the Final Fantasy VII games. It's one game. But once they figured that shit out, sure. Like that was okay. It still looks super weird, the juxtaposition between this polygonal bullshit video game character against a hyper-realized background, but it was still more pleasurable to look at than some Tomb Raider shit. Fucking killed by a mouse. Come on. I apologize for whatever you've been trying to have to deal with. I don't know if it's my computer. Hopefully the recording comes out better. I don't think it will. But there is some jitteriness going on over there on your guys' end. Technology, man, it's a fucking problem. Every time I come down to record a podcast or make one of these videos, something new is broken. Not even joking. Every fucking time. I'm gonna die. Whew. Like, there's just always something wrong. A microphone cuts out. Frame rate drops on the recording. My monitor just wouldn't turn on earlier. Just weird problems. And I can leave everything. I'll be like, okay, everything's great. Works fine. Leave it alone. You turn it all off. You go upstairs for the night. You come back down. You make another video. Everything's broken. It's fucked up. And I really only play video games anymore for these purposes on some sort of film, podcast, whatever. And I just don't even want to play video games because, well, I don't want to play them unless I'm making something out of them. But also, I don't want to make something out of them because it's a fucking pain in the ass. I love these electric plugs wearing makeup. Like, there's some cool stuff going on in this game. Good art, good animation, good music. Just all around fun, like just enjoyable fun. Not too hard, not really hard at all. Makes you feel good, makes you feel like a good gaming guy. I'm in the last level, by the way. And apparently, the UI fucks up here, too. I mean, look at that cool, look at us. We can make these things go around a post. You gotta think about that a lot with, like, these old-timey video games. They just did things because they could. It's like, hey, we have this ability to make this thing look like this. Let's find a reason to put it in the game. So then they did. Excuse me. I would love to see, like, an NES Mario game made in this, animation art style. It'd be good. Mario is missing, I think, maybe? Or, is it Mario? Yeah, Mario is missing. It's not Luigi is missing. There was a lot of really bad Mario games, you guys. Ones that no one talks about because they weren't really made by Nintendo. Alright, here we go. End of the game. It's really too bad that the UI has been dead for the majority of it. But whatever. So, I think the speed run showed me how to kill these dragon guys in a good way. Oh god. Okay. That's a bad... You don't want that for this part at all. It's the front flip thing. I guess maybe for this. So yeah, the speed run, these dragons, I don't know how to really avoid getting hurt on the final dragon. Here comes my girlfriend. Oh wait, no, frog. My girlfriend's a frog. That's not true. This one here. Just do that. Fuck yes. Alright, guy. Thanks. This end boss, I always forget how long he takes. It's crazy. I mean, it's not like really crazy. I mean, it's, you'll see. Get comfy. Oh man, I hope I don't die. So, I mean, you could look at something like this and be like, this is a bad game. This is bad. This is bad game design. This is bad enemy design. But, I mean, look at the characters. They're good. They're good characters. They're good music. They're good music. Like, there's more going on here. Oh, I'm gonna die. You can actually see my health in the bottom left there. It just looks weird. He hasn't even changed colors yet. This guy sucks. You don't want to die in this guy. It is like the worst punishment. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. But I did it. I'll do it again. Just for fun. Okay, you change colors. That kick, actually, you don't get that very often. It only happens when you don't catch up with him quick enough. Ooh, man. 2 kicks in 1 boss fight. I usually get 0, so that's actually kind of weird. Alright. So it took a long time. Alright. Now there's my girlfriend. There's emotion on these NES characters. Except for this guy. But he gives him his fucking cloud. Alright, so this part... use these for. Away from that. Ah. Oh god. I kind of like a game where the final boss is actually a little bit easier than like the previous form. It's kind of a reprieve. Like it's like, all right, you did the hard work already. Hey, we just beat the game, by the way. He still looks so angry about it. He's like, ugh, I'm gonna walk all this way. We're gonna stand here and stare at each other for days, apparently. So anyway, that's Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. One of my favorite games ever. What can I say? What can I say that hasn't already been said by me just now? I don't know. I've really tried. I tried to think of some new stuff to say. I might literally be out of things to say. But, aw, we can't see the credits or whatever. So this is kind of fun. I miss these fun end credits. Super Mario World had really good end credits, where you get to see the names of all the enemies you fought, and it's got, you know, Mario and Yoshi walking through the entire world backwards to where they first started. A lot of these things, I'm not sure if the animation ever looks like this. If it's like, it's these still frames that are maybe concept, like, maybe, I guess, I don't know. Looks really weird there. So anyway, I mean, this is what this is going to be. I won't always be beating games. I can almost guarantee I will never beat another game during this series. But, so, my video game name is BloodNGutsMurfy. That's me on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam on PC, Epic Game Store, whatever the fuck else. Not on Nintendo, because Nintendo doesn't let you have that many characters. I'm Croseph. S-E-P-H on Nintendo. But, so that's where BloodNGutsMurfy, that is a Simpsons reference. And I call what we just did here today blood samples. Whatever, it's gross. But my name's got blood in it. We're sampling video games. There we go. This was more than a sample. It was a straight up playthrough, but, you know, most of the time I will grab a game, play it, say, here it is, that's what that was, and then we just stop. So that's the majority of what I do here. Sometimes I will maybe sit and talk about Game of the Year, or I really want to make a video coming up soon about all the fall games, because, you know, that's when games come out, and that's when you get all your good shit. We got, you know, Borderlands 3, we got Gears 5, we got Death Stranding, there's a new game coming out by the people who made one of my more favorite games in recent memory, Until Dawn. I got the update for VR for No Man's Sky. A lot of games in the pipeline that I want to make videos for. And, I mean, you don't have to watch the whole thing if you're interested in seeing what a game's all about, though. Okay. Not all about, because I barely learned the games enough to be able to really show them off, but if you want to get a basic idea of what a game has going on, come check out my fucking videos here. Here at, you know, Fancy Boys Club. Check me out here. Otherwise, you can check out my YouTube, BloodNGutsMurfy. You can check out my podcast. That is Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Conversation. That is going on iTunes, Spotify, here on Fancy Boys Club. That's probably it. You know, wherever the fuck they have podcasts at, it'll be there. That is, you know, me and my roommate Gladys and whoever else may stop by to talk about movies, and then we just let the conversation take off in whatever direction. So far, we got an episode about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We got an episode where we talk about scary stories to tell in the dark. Coming up, we're going to have an episode about Ready or Not, the movie that no one saw or cares about, but I saw, and I'm going to talk about with Gladys. And Good Boys. That's another one in the pipeline. So, a lot of things going on. You can maybe catch some occasional writing of mine, you know, now and then on the website here, Fancy Boys Club. Not sure what that's going to look like. A lot of times it's going to be more podcasts, more video. It takes up a lot of my time. I also do comedy, stand-up style every once in a while. Probably not as much as I used to nowadays with all this other stuff I got going on. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. I had fun. I hope you did as well. And come back some other time. See what else we got going on. Check out some of the other fancy boys that we got here in this here club. Fancy women as well. Fancy everybody's. It's a fancy everyone club. Everyone can be fancy. Remember that. I'm gonna go now. Goodbye.